Welcome, I'm the Deadwood Jedi. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. We're looking at another one of these new champions that was just released. I'm in Shaolin's account today, longtime supporter, really big fan of him, as he appears to be a big fan of mine, so it works out perfectly. But he pulled one of the new champions, and he let me get on his account, and the one we're going to be looking at today is actually one of the ones I'm most excited about, guys. When I was first looking at all these champions, he wasn't tops on my list, but I think this guy could be kind of a game changer in a lot of places of the game. We heard a lot about a particular rare champion from like one of the previous champion dumps they gave us. It was, I think, one of the dwarves that gave you an increased accuracy buff. Kurzad, I believe, is his name. Well, this champion is like him, except way better. Way better. He's going to bring a lot of utility to the game, and I feel like he's going to be pretty fantastic in all of the arena, the dungeons, all that stuff. He might even be semi-useful in Clan Boss, actually, because he has some really cool skills. So that's not where I'm primarily looking at him, but I do feel for an earlier game account, you could bring him in there and actually have some decent success with him because of some of the stuff that he brings to the table. So let's look at the champion and go over his kit. Okay, guys, so Klodd Beastfeeder, one of my favorite champions in this, and for good reason. We go over his skills really quick. You can see he has a decreased crit rate on his A1. That's not a huge deal for me. I'm not, like, over the moon for it or against it. It's a solid skill to have, though. That's a really nice debuff to put on your enemies. It's not enough where I'm going to build this guy for accuracy, but if I have the accuracy, I'm going to embrace it. His A2 here is one of his better skills. He places a shield buff on all allies equals 20% of this champion's max HP for 2 turns. That books up to a 25% chance, which is great. That's actually pretty high as far as the ratio. So depending on how much HP we put on him, that can be a pretty sizable shield. And it is a 3-turn cooldown, which is wonderful. And the best part about him is his A3. Also a 3-turn cooldown, increased speed buff, increased accuracy buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is huge because obviously increased speed makes all of us go faster. Increased accuracy makes it so much easier to land our debuffs on the enemy. When you're talking a high-level Doom Tower, when you're talking Arena, that is a massive buff for your champions and really effective. Not to mention, he has a solid passive. Heals the ally with the lowest HP by 10% of their max HP at the start of this champion's turn. Not a bad thing, right? Every time he goes, he heals the lowest HP champion. That's good. So the key to using him, I think, and I'm sure there is a variety of ways to play this. I mean, let's remember, this is a shield champion. You can use him in spiders to help protect your team. That passive heal is really nice. The increased speed buff is very good. Decreased crit rate certainly doesn't hurt on the Spider Queen. You could use him in Clan Boss in a very similar fashion. Shields are really helpful as far as staying alive in both of those scenarios. And obviously in Doom Tower, he's going to be great too. But I think one of the most interesting spots is going to be using him in Arena. And you can use him in Arena as a speed booster. Now, he doesn't give you a turn meter boost, and that is definitely that turn meter boost in Arena is more important because it's just an instant thing, and because Arena matches don't usually last multiple turns, it doesn't, or like multiple rounds, it's not, speed boost is more helpful the longer it lasts. It's less helpful the quicker the fight is, and so if you're using him as a speed booster in Arena, obviously it's not as effective as using them in like dungeons or something where you're gonna have multiple rounds and multiple attacks where the speed boost that you get is more effective than a turn meter boost. However, if you can build him fast enough and you can use him in Arena, not only is he giving you increased speed, he's also giving you increased attack, and that is massive, guys. So being able to combine those things, I think he's gonna be phenomenal in Arena. Maybe not high-end plat kind of stuff, but I would not be surprised if you see him up there. He just brings a lot of utility to the game. The hard part is, of course, getting him fast enough, and I think that's the key to being able to utilize him in those scenarios. Thankfully, Shaolin has a wonderful account, and it was very easy to gear him not only fast, but really high HP, so he's a little bit tanky, and he's really, really fast. So this is kind of an ideal build here, I think. Not everything's leveled up fully, so just keep that in mind. We do not have crit rate on him, so I do have some crit rate gloves ready so we can kind of test him with that, but I don't think he only has one skill that does any attacks. So using him as a damage dealer seems like a waste. I'd rather spend that crit rate and build up his defense, build up his HP, and just make him as tanky as possible. His shield's based off his HP too, so getting up as high as possible is great. We have 68,000 here. I'm happy with that. And we have him at 273 speed. That's really what I'm looking for. And we have them in 2 speed sets and an immortal set to help with all of that. Now we could very easily make this 3 speed sets and get them even faster. We could very easily make this 3 immortal sets and make them even tankier. There's lots of options there. And if we really want to abandon accuracy on that A1, we could even take this accuracy banner off and replace it with HP. I just did that because I do kind of want to see the crit rate debuff. It's nice to see all the skills here. So giving it a little bit of a blend, and in Gold 4, this shouldn't be an issue. As far as the masteries go, I went kind of an unusual route. With masteries, guys, it's kind of what you want to use them for, especially when you're using a champion in arena. It's very particular, like personal choices stuff. So this is just what I went with. It by no means is the only way. If you want to build the accuracy up to land that crit rate debuff, you can go down this side of the support tree. I think that's fine. I'm not banking on that. I'm banking on the buffs we're placing. So I really want to take rapid response to get some more turn meter boost. I really wanted to come down, get Steadfast for the HP, get Shield Bearer to help those shields be bigger, and Healing Savior. So when somebody's low, the shields are bigger as well. I also wanted to get Cycle of Magic to get some cooldown on those skills. I want that speed and accuracy buff to come up as often as possible. I want that shield to come up as often as possible. I don't care about the A1. And then Lore of Steel, just going to give us even more speed, even more HP from the set bonuses we're getting, and of course lasting gifts to help those buffs last longer. Defensive tree wise, it's pretty much whatever you want. The one thing I think you should take, especially using arena or dungeons, this kind of goes across the board. Cycle of Revenge. You get a chance to get a turn meter boost when an ally's hit with a critical hit. That's really good. Now, he's our tankiest champion and hopefully our speed booster, so I expect him to go before most of our other champions. And once that speed boost is out, once the accuracy increases out, I don't really care if he survives. So, because of that, I gave him Selfless Defender to take some more damage and Bulwark to take some more damage from the allies, so everybody else will hopefully survive longer. It always depends on the full composition of the team, but this is just kind of the way I went. You could easily go down the resist route if you wanted to. You could go down the accuracy route if you wanted to. You could even come down here and get Elixir of Life and just add more HP to him. There's a million options of how to build this. I don't know that one's especially more important than another. But what I do want to do is I want to take him into arena, see what he can't do there. Let's go ahead and just do that, because I think this is really one of the spots where we're really going to see him shine is in the arena here. We are out of stuff. Okay, we're getting some gems. There we go. Now we have things to use. Okay, great. So you can see here he's got kind of a speed boost team with like a nuke Zavia type of strategy. That's totally fine. What I'm going to do here is we're going to keep Arbiter for the speed aura. We're going to keep Arbiter for the speed boost. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring in Klodd here and see if he can't make us fast enough so that he can be the next speed booster for this team. And let's rank it so I can find him. There he is. Good old Klodd. Love Klodd. It's a great name. The Beastfeeder. So let's go ahead and see what he can't do here. All right, so they are faster than us, not the best. Here they go. Do we survive? Okay, so Arbiter didn't survive, not the best, and none of us survived. Okay, so we're not going to face them. Clearly they're faster than us. They're faster than our Arbiter. Can't do much about that. Let's try this team. Should be good. Let me look really quick and see. Yeah, our Arbiter's 308. I think we should be okay. I'm sure the Siffy is considerably faster, but let's try it with the Arbiter here. Just see if we can go first. There we go. We got the turn meter boost right there. All right, now it's his turn. Let's see what he uses on auto. We want to see if he uses Beast Escape. Get behind me. Uses Beast Escape. That's perfect for arena. That is the skill we want. And you can see we got all that stuff, and boom, just knocks him out like that. Getting that accuracy increase, getting that speed increase, I think those are huge abilities right there. This should be a little bit tougher team. Let's see, do we have any other options to kind of stretch this fight out just a little bit longer? Zavi is almost too good, and I want to be able to see how a fight ensues over time a little bit. So, one thing we can do, let's try this. So we're going to bring in Siffy, and let's go ahead and bring in Rotos as well. And let's make sure he's kitted out, has stuff on him. Yeah, he's looking pretty decent. A little bit on the slow side. That's okay. So we're going to do this. This is going to be a little bit of a different team. Basically, we're relying on Rotos just to kill them all on his own. So we'll see how this works. We're gonna get there's a speed boost from Siffy. And so here's an interesting thing. We had an increased speed buff on us already. So what did Klodd do? Klodd went ahead and put up the shield. So you're going to have to specify the team you're working with. So that means not going to really work with a Siffy, obviously. Also not going to work with a Lysandra. You're going to need to bring in your Arbiter or another turn meter booster, like a Gore Grab would be great. Those are the champions you want. Apothecary, Haikatoon, they're not going to be ideal for this kind of strategy, at least not on auto. You can always manual it, but not quite on auto. So let's go ahead and get sleep there. But this is fine. That shield's going to help keep us alive, as you can see right there. So that's definitely a good thing. And then we can kind of turn that down there, and we'll let Rotos kind of do his thing for a little bit. And there you go. There's the increased speed and the increased accuracy buff. Everything should kind of land at this point here. And we'll let kind of Rotos just go to town. There you go. Decrease crit rate lands. It's not a great skill, but it's not bad, right? We have 250 accuracy on him. With that increased accuracy buff, that becomes, what, 375 or so? It's a pretty significant difference right there. This is why it's such an important skill. You can put your Madame Ceres in 400 accuracy and basically be working like you have 600 accuracy. That means you're going to have a real good chance of taking down those resist teams. And if you happen to have one with, real endgame plat ability of like 600 accuracy, all of a sudden that 600 becomes 900, you're not going to get resisted. I mean, it's going to be like a 1 in 100 chance. So the really effective skill makes your team just really good as far as like landing your debuffs, which is crucial. So if you guys are interested in like a champion like Astrolon, right? One of those champions where you have to mix the damage and the crit and the accuracy, a champion like Klodd is fantastic for that because he's going to give them an accuracy boost. You don't have to build it as high to be able to use it in endgame plat. You can actually, build it to a reasonable level, still keep the crit damage and the crit rate and the attack on, and have a lot of success that way. So there's a lot of possibilities as far as ways to go using that, and I'm actually really excited about it. So we can go in here. We can take out Siffy this time. Let's bring in Madame Ceres. She's going to just kind of strip everything. It's going to be ridiculous what she's going to be able to do here. There's a turn meter boost. There's a speed buff and the accuracy boost. No resistance is going to be coming in off that. And there goes Rotos just going to town on these guys. There's a shield coming back around, which is phenomenal. You can see we got the True Fear on 2 of the champions. It's a really strong skill, guys. It's going to be really nice for Arena. If you have a Klodd, you're going to be very happy with him. He's a phenomenal champion. He really is. So this is, I think, going to be great. Yeah, wow. It's incredible how important accuracy is in this game. And it only gets more important the higher up you go. Accuracy and resistance can be really, really crucial. And having a champion like Klodd that's a major boost. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at his kit. Not at his kit, but let's look at his stats really quick. So one of the interesting things about Klodd, and this is why I was a little hesitant when I first looked at him, and I wasn't sure if he'd actually be good for this. But the more I look, the deeper I check, the more I realize he is going to be a game changer for the arena because he has one of the highest base speeds in this game, 110. 110 is phenomenal base speed. So you can build him fast. Look at these base stats, 21,000 HP, 1,000 defense. These are great stats for this champion specifically. The healing ability, the shield ability, it's just great. You have so much HP here to make a big shield when you do use it. You have so much base speed, so you can get him. 273 is incredibly fast, but it's not as hard as you might think because he has such a good base speed. He's just really a phenomenal champion. Getting up to around 300 speed is not inconceivable or difficult. And the other part is because you really only need him to place that one buff at the beginning, you don't need to worry about anything after that. You don't need to build him with crit rate. You don't even need to build him with HP and get the shields up. It's not really necessary because, honestly, with that skill, the enemy shouldn't be lasting more than a round. Really shouldn't be. You should be able to debuff him, nuke him, knock him out. So I think he's going to be great. Also going to be good in the Doom Tower. This is another spot where I think he's going to be incredibly useful. Obviously, you can use him in whatever you want as far as like dungeons or clan boss goes. You can definitely use him there. But I think he's going to be really useful in Doom Tower. Now, that shield is just a 2-turn shield. It comes on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you're going to try to use him for like the Scarab King, you're definitely going to need some help with that, right? He's not going to be able to do that all on his own. But, you know, one of the people we could bring him in for, Sify, for example, here, and bring in Klodd. And I think he's going to be great in a Seer comp like this. Should be nice and simple. He's going to give you so many buffs as you go around. Look at that. Increased speed, increased accuracy. That's going to make everybody else land their stuff. Look at all those buffs. Seer gives the perfect strip at that point, and we're good to go. Come back around. What does he do? He puts a shield on you so you don't die. He's, I think, a really good champion. Pairs amazingly well with Seer, actually, because of that shield is the second ability. Helps keep everybody alive till her cooldown comes back around. So, which is a really good champion all around. I think this is actually one of the best champions that they've released in this patch. Maybe the best champion they've released in this patch because of his utility everywhere. You need accuracy everywhere. You need speed everywhere. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you can put decreased crit rate, that's going to help save you from those bad attacks that the dungeon bosses or different enemies are giving you. Now, as far as the damage he does, obviously we don't have him with max crit rate or crit damage for that matter. I'm assuming he can hit okay hard. It's all based off his HP, which is nice. The more you stack, the harder he hits. But I don't really look at him and say that's the spot I want to use him at. I suppose the last thing we should do is just take him for a quick run here in one of the dungeons. Just kind of see what he can do there for us. I mean, he's going to pretty much crush it for us here, I think. Let's take him in for Rosin. I think that's the easiest replacement right there. And we can kind of see how he plays. He's going to make us faster. He's going to make us tankier. Look at that. Get that speed going. Now with that accuracy increase, we don't have to worry about low accuracy. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I think he actually could be really good in Clan Boss. Now, 2-1 teams are really popular for a good reason. You get twice the attacks. They're excellent. He brings that increased speed. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. So, you know, most places where you're using an Apothecary or High Katoon, you could replace them with a Klodd Beastfeeder. Now, one thing to keep in mind, a lot of times those skills won't proc if someone else already has increased speed on. We've shown, though, because when Sify was on this team and she put it up, he didn't prioritize that skill because it was already out there, but he still used that skill. And the reason why is he has another buff with it. He has that increased accuracy buff. So that's actually really good. That means you can absolutely speed tune with him. And that's a really big factor. So he would actually be phenomenal in a lot of clan boss teams. Now, the hard part is he doesn't bring a turn meter boost with that increased speed. So you need to keep that increased speed up. You're going to have to bring in another champion, either another speed champion like Apothecary, or you're going to have to bring an extender like Sandlash. And in either case, because he doesn't have the turn meter boost, it's probably going to be a little bit longer. You're going to probably have to run a little bit faster than you normally would as a team just to make the speed tune. But that shield is really good too. You guys know how impressive Valkyrie's shield is in Clan Boss. Well, his shield is going to be giving you pretty much the same effect. Having that is a really strong ability. Helps keep you alive, taking all that extra damage for you. It's like adding, with him right now, let's use some simple numbers. Let's say he has 100,000 health. His shield's giving, fully booked, is giving an extra 25% shield. So basically you're adding 25,000 health to all your champions. That's a massive amount. That's a massive amount. So he's going to help you survive a lot longer as a result of that. I don't have any tunes prepped with him, but he's definitely one of those champions I would love to get my hands on and see if I couldn't come up with something that would be really good. Obviously, he's not super endgame. He only has one attack. Let's remember that. So he's not going to do a ton of damage for you, but he might make it so that your other champions can't. And in that case, I think he could be just a phenomenal champion for you. Really good addition to your team. Real excited to see. Yeah, I mean, I'm stoked with him. I'm more impressed with him so far than any of the other champions I've tested up to this point. And I've tested a few of them. He looks fantastic. The shield's great. The speed's great. The accuracy buff is great. He plays just like I was hoping in Arena. His base speed's phenomenal. he's going to be a good champion, guys. So if any of you have pulled Klodd, I highly, highly, highly recommend checking him out. You guys can actually see my first impression of him on that Game On account. Just look up hashtag Deadwood Jedi, and you'll see all my videos on there. And he's interesting for sure. I thought he was going to be good. I did not think he was going to be this effective. Getting his speed up is a lot easier than I thought it was because of his base speed. Obviously, this is a great account, great gear. But it shows you that you can actually build them up to that speed boosting level, right? That's the hard part. And when you're trying to get around 300 speed, it's very difficult to get there. It's very clear that he can. So I think he's going to be a phenomenal champion for you in a lot of areas of this game. I love the shield. I really do. There's no part of his kit that's weak. So definitely, guys, if you have Klodd Beastkeeper, I think he's very much worth leveling up, worth booking. And one of the more interesting parts about him is I don't believe he takes 1.5 million books, which is rare this time around. He takes 4 on his A1, and honestly, you don't need any in there. 4 on his A2, those you do want, and then 2 on his A3, those you want. So you only need 6 books. He takes 10 total, only needs 6. That's actually not a bad book requirement for a champion. I figure none of these champions should have more than 10 books, frankly. Kind of 12 hitting that max spot. But I think that many books on this champion is a really good value. So if you have him, I definitely recommend booking him. I definitely recommend leveling him up. I think he's just really good overall. So yeah, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. And yeah, if you enjoyed it, hit that subscription and notification button. And till next we meet, I'm the Deadwood Jedi.